So I have this Gusion project that I've been working on last week, or for last week, and I did this kind of squiggly line masking technique. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I will be going over the process of making the squiggly line, basically off this part. Go through each step from priming to first layers of paint to masking to second layer of paint, and it's pretty simple process to do this. And this is close to what the finished product will look like. And here we go. The first step is to spray a primer over this so that you can see where I seamed up the areas, and this helps check whether I fixed the seam or not. This is a two-part piece where there's a seam down the middle right here. There's also a seam down here where I assembled that together. Third biggest seam is also on the shoulder piece right here, where there's a seam down here, and that you can see that the primer has showed that it's pretty well seamed up. I don't have any sanding mistakes, and there's no surface defects. This also gives me a nice gray surface to work with, since I'm going to paint white next. I don't want the green to show up over under the white. And on to the second step. So this is step 2, where I've painted this in gloss white over the primed gray. Now I'm ready to apply the masking, which I have a couple of these strips of just sticky tack, which is basically Loctite or any brands of mounting putty. It looks like this. They come in different colors, and you come out and ball it up, and you could kind of stretch this out. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna roll some of this out, so I have this strings or little snakes of sorts. So stretch them out. I don't have to worry about being too uniform. If you get too long, take a pair of scissors and snip. So I'm just gonna grab a section of this and start masking. Now I have a toothpick of sorts to kind of press down as I go along, so that you want to seal this against the surface of the plastic. Otherwise, when you go on to paint the next layer, it's gonna seep under. So I'm just going to kind of snake a pattern. Doesn't have to be anything specific, but I don't need to worry about having an endpoint or anything. Just gonna roll along here and make sure I have a good seal. So you can check that and make sure that's one line. Now I could take this and draw more lines with this. So I have my attachment point here, and this is just the style I'm going with. And I'm just gonna carefully curve it around like so. When we get down to here, I could take my scissors and snip the excess. And I could continue doing this. I could cross the lines if I wanted to. Just get a rough placement. Once I have that rough placement, I can start pressing this down to get my masked off lines. and just continue on with the lines. And what eventually it looks like is something where I showed earlier, this piece, but before it got painted. So you can see that all the lines here are masked off. And once I get done masking off all these parts, I can go to the next step. After masking, I've sprayed on this blue that I have from my touch-up paint from my Subaru. So you can see that originally I was going to go with the green, but I was working on another project and sprayed this blue from that paint I have, and I figured why not use this blue, because I really like this blue. So I have these two parts here, and I could just go ahead and remove the masking, and I could take my toothpick and lift it up a little bit. Another thing I could do is I could take some existing sticky tack and go ahead and just press that up against and remove it like so. And this process is pretty quick. And you see that I have my part that's unmasked. So you have some organic lines. Here's the other arm piece. And once I clear coat this and finish the panel lines and everything, this should show up what I showed in that first picture.